about why it's important to get involved. And for context as to why I can speak on this with authority, I'm getting my master's degree in a program called College Student Personnel Administration, which essentially means I am studying the development that college students traditionally go through while they're in school, and the structure and organization of higher education broadly and specifically by institutions.
Sounds like a lot of stuff.
So what?
Sounds like a lot of stuff.
It is kind of a lot of stuff. Yes. I'm not like a doctor or anything. It's not that much a lot of stuff. You nursing folks, like, can't. It's not how my brain works. So essentially, I'm getting a degree in the experience that you're going through as college students, and it's all sorts of fun, but the parts of my job and what I want to do with my life that are the most fun are when students are actively engaged in their learning process. And when I say learning process, I do not exclusively mean what happens in the chairs you're sitting in, as if I were a faculty member conveying knowledge onto you, because I'm not that person. Involvement is absolutely essential to a successful college career. There are so many social and intellectual and emotional benefits to getting involved and to having friend groups outside of your degree program and to having things to do outside of go to class, come home and do homework and go to bed and then do it all over again. I could rattle off statistics at you about higher retention rates. Students who are involved absolutely graduate and go on to further degree programs and prosperous careers more often when they've been involved. I can tell you that GPAs are statistically higher for students who are involved as opposed to students who are not. I can tell you that job placement and graduate school placement is often more successful for students who are involved. So not only will you finish undergrad and continue on to those things, but your likelihood of securing opportunities in those other further areas significantly higher if you have extracurricular involvement outside of classwork. There are just so many benefits to doing this and to finding things that are of interest to you or follow your degree path, or maybe are things that you've never thought about being involved in before or never thought about having interest in before, and you go to a club meeting and all of a sudden you've got a new group of friends and this cool weird thing that you do. I was not a student at UCM. I did my undergraduate degree at a small school in rural Wisconsin. But some of the things, I just realized that's recording and I'm really close to it. Some of the things that I was involved in while I was in school, I was a member of my student government. I was actively engaged in the extracurricular opportunities provided by my degree major, which was theater. And I also started Ripon College's intramural Quidditch team. Shout out to the Harry Potter fans. Oh, Quidditch? Yeah. Yeah, right there. On a broom. Harry Potter.
I've seen everybody.
Yeah, Muggle Quidditch
That's
is.
the game they're playing. That's what they call
Yeah,
it.
Muggle Quidditch is just running around with the broom between your legs playing that game. It's hilarious, and I started that at my institution, and it's still going today. In fact, I just got an email a couple of weeks ago
Are you
from.
from Wisconsin?
I'm originally from Minnesota. Great White North. But literally, I just got an email a couple of weeks ago from the current president of the organization that I started, something like 7 years ago. That was a long time ago. So, those are just some of the things that I did with my college time outside of being a student. And not that I am the example to set the rule, but here I am today with a career path that I'm excited about in a master's program that is engaging for me, and I cannot understate how much those involvement opportunities helped me get to where I am. So, involvement is super important, and Mitch and I are going to spend the rest of the time talking about different opportunities to get involved here at UCM.
Okay, if you want to keep looking, I can't find it. I don't know why.
Alright.
It used to be big, bold link.
I got it,
but
buddy.
yeah. So there's different ways you can get involved here on campus. You guys familiar with the union? Do you know where like the bank is and all that? If you walk down that little hallway, if you keep on going to the end of it, there's this huge room called Union 217, the Office of Student Activities, and that's where everything is based out of. You can go there to start organizations, you can go there to find organizations. You can go there with your organization just to work on a poster or something if you want to. It's a really cool place. They have all sorts of different resources. Basically, all you need to start an organization on campus is you need a constitution and 7 people and an advisor. A constitution you can find on Google. You can Google club constitution and you just fill in the blanks with your club name, kind of. And then 7 people, and then an advisor, which is just a teacher or just a staff faculty member here on campus. Inside of the office is 6 different governance groups. I'm going to go over 3 of them, and Sarah's going to cover the other 3. The first 3 are ABC, SGA, and Spotlight. The first one, ABC, is the Association of Black Collegians, I'm sorry. That's pretty self-explanatory. It's just Black Collegians, right? Black Collegians, and they do all sorts of cool stuff around campus. They get funding. They bring speakers on campus. They put on really cool events. It's a cool organization. And just to backtrack a little bit, these governance groups are the groups that kind of like they don't control, but they have the most oversee over the other organizations, I guess. Like for example, if you have your own little club and you guys get into a fight, you can actually take it to the Supreme Court in the Student Government Association, and they will solve it for you. So going over to SGA, the Student Government Association, that's a really cool thing. You have all 3 branches of your American government. You have your judicial, your executive with the president, VP, and all that, and your Congress. You have your state and Senate, and they're actually looking for new members. If you guys want to join, you can go to the Office of Student Activities and fill out a really short application, but you get to do really cool things. In the House and Senate, I did it once, and the Senate was my favorite, but you guys get to pass bills. Bills, you're spending money, like you can buy water fountains for the union if you think they need new water fountains or benches around campus. Resolutions, you can change things all around campus. You can basically change anything you want through SGA, and you can bring a bill or a piece of legislation to the Senate or the House floor, and you guys get to vote on it, and you guys basically have a say over campus. And then the third one I'm going to talk about is Spotlight. That one's really cool. They hit on tons of events throughout the semester, and I'm going to hand out calendars here at the end of the presentation with a list of all their events. But all their events are free. There's usually prizes. There's lots of cool games. I mean, there's comedians, ideas and issues, which they talk about like diversity problems. Their one coming up is I Ain't Got No Type, which is talking about types with boyfriends and girlfriends. No. Stereotypes. I'm sorry, I was wrong. There's so many of them I can't keep track.
Too many events to keep track.
Yeah, there's so many, like I can't keep track of them all. But they have that going on. There's also coordinators called MAD coordinators. They put on late night programs Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. They do stuff like water slides, these huge bingos where we give away things like tablets and stuff like that. And it's all free, no tickets, no charge, nothing. It's really cool. So you want to go over the remaining 3?
So the other 3 governance organizations that oversee lots of other student organizations are all affiliated with UCM's Greek community, fraternities and sororities. Fraternity and sorority life is big, and so this is going to be a super gloss over way of talking about it, but being involved in a fraternity or a sorority is absolutely a premier way to get involved on a college campus. You're making friends, you're uniting with a group of people for a cause, you're representing something bigger than yourself. It's a beautiful way to get involved. We have a lot of fraternities and sororities here. In fact, we have 3 different governance organizations, each of which oversees at least 8 individual organizations, okay? So in terms of those 3 organizations, the first is called IFC, or the Interfraternal Council. That oversees all of our IFC-connected fraternities, and I want to say we have 10 of those. Next council is called the Panhellenic Council, and that oversees our 8 Panhellenic sororities. Now 8, it used to be 7. But good call, we just added one. Gamma Phi Beta? Yes, that's our new one, and they're recruiting right now. And then our third council is NPHC, or the National Panhellenic Council. There's a difference between the Panhellenic Council and the National Panhellenic Council. the difference is that NPHC oversees our historically black fraternities and sororities, and I believe we have 8 of those as well.
Yeah, I think there's 4 fraternities and 4 sororities.
It's 9.
Oh, okay.
Look at you. Thank you.
She's already ready.
She's ready. She's in it.
There's no-
And so, you know, just like with all of the governance organizations, those 3 councils oversee a lot of different opportunities to get involved. And those organizations each stand for something and mean something to their members and to the campus community. And that's a really important way to explore getting involved in a fraternity or a sorority. So if that's of interest to you, I would absolutely encourage you to reach out to IFC Panhandle or NPHC to learn more information about those organizations. Next, Mitch is going to talk to you about Student Government Association a little bit more, specifically about joining it.
So I kind of covered it a little bit a few minutes ago. So you can go into 217 and get an application and fill it out, go through a short interview, and then you choose whether you want to be in the House or the Senate. In the House, you represent your college, and then in the Senate, you represent your grade class, so freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. And colleges are like Harmon, College of Business Professional Studies, College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, and the rest I can't remember.
Education.
There's 2 more. There's the Health Science and Technology, and then there's one more.
Sure is.
Yep.
Jasmine, do you have the answer for that one too?
I was hoping. So if you guys are interested in that, you can feel free to do that. Also, when I was talking to you guys about Spotlight, every Thursdays at 4 o'clock in the same office, we have something called Spotlight VIP, and you guys basically get to come and voice your opinion. You get to find out what events we're holding before everyone does. You get to you get to vote on what events we do and don't bring to campus. We'll come up with the ideas, write up proposals, and you guys vote yes or no. It's pretty cool. We do games at VIP. It's a fun little meeting every Thursdays at 4, and you get to have so much voice on what Spotlight does with your student activity money.
You said every Thursday at 4?
Every Thursday at 4, except for this Thursday.
Yeah, except for tomorrow.
Yes.
Except for this.
So, this Thursday is Get the Red Out at 4 o'clock, so we're gonna be there at Get the Red Out. So that's why we don't have VIP this.
Let's
Thursday.
get the red out, Mitch.
Get the Red Out. It's this really cool like street fair that's put on every year. I would go. They give away lots of cool free things. They have lots of cool games, candy, snow cones, free water bottles, T-shirts. I mean, and you just get to
I got
learn.
free headphones last year.
Free headphones. Yeah, you get to learn about
Free
like,
Beats headphones.
No.
it's free headphones. But you get to learn about like the different groups on campus, and it's kind of like the involvement fair, but I think way cooler than the involvement fair. So if you guys aren't doing anything tomorrow at 4, it's on that street between the Union and the football field. Don't know what the street's called, but that's where it is.
That
Hodgin.
is
Hodgin.
Holden?
South Holden, it says on this thing.
South
Oh,
Holden.
there you go.
Yeah, older.
Look at you reading the calendar we just gave you.
So it's between Union and the football field,
South
whole street. But that's what that is.
I'll see, that's real funny.
Alright.
It says it right here.
So yeah, the calendar that I passed out is largely the list of events that are either university-wide events like Get the Red Out or are things that Spotlight are specifically putting on. You're gonna notice that there are some events here. For example,
I'm trying to go to the games.
To what?
The games, remember?
The game?
Yeah, football game.
yep,
That's right after Get the Red Out.
yes it is. In fact, Get the Red Out is sort of a street fair / pep rally
For the
for the football game.
yeah.
So one example, Mitch is the president, ADP? President? Mitch is the president of an organization called ADP, which stands for
American Democracy Project.
awesome. American Democracy Project is hosting a week of programming called Constitution Week coming up here next week. And so you can see that on September 13th, it says voter registration / Constitution Day. That means that that's an event as part of ADP's Constitution Week programming. So any event that you see that has a / and then more words after it is generally sponsored by an organization that is not either UCM or Spotlight. But tons of stuff. If any of your friends ever say, I'm bored, throw this calendar in their faces. Don't hurt anybody, but it's impossible to be bored on this campus, right? And all of these are opportunities to get involved. Going to an event, getting out of your room, engaging with the community, having some fun, all of those are things that happen when you're getting involved. You don't have to go join an organization to be an involved student.
This double-sided calendar is just this semester.
Right. This is just through December.
Another one comes out next semester.
wow.
It's
So
like this
many
every
things.
semester.
So many things. And by coming to Union 217, every semester at the start, we've got like a stack of these, this big, free and fair game.
If
We'll
you,
always know what's happening.
a little secret, you know, I'm telling you guys that all this is free, but you're technically paying for it. So I always recommend you taking advantage to it. You'll notice if you go through your bills, every semester you're charged a $438 fee called mandatory fees. That money is split between the rec center and Union 217. So I'm saying it's free, but I really say get out there and take advantage of these programs because you're technically paying for them.
So they're combining everybody that goes to the school, 400 each. That's about 1,300 people they're charging $400. So if you do that math,
It's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
That's up over 100,000.
Sure is. And actually, that's a perfect tie-in to what I was just gonna say next. So Mitch talked about getting, ooh, easy tiger. Mitch talked about getting involved in Spotlight. Spotlight is one of more than 200 student organizations here at UCM. I will say that the influence that Spotlight VIP members have, if you come to meetings and you participate and you contribute to conversations about what we're gonna host, you would be placing yourselves among some of arguably the most influential students on this campus because you have a crap ton, and that's you know, a scientific figure, a crap ton of money available at your disposal, at the organization's disposal to help put on events like this. And that is not to say that organizations that are not Spotlight are not also super influential and super powerful on this campus, but it is saying that financially speaking, Spotlight's got a lot going on for it, right? So I'm going to talk to you a little bit now about getting involved in other organizations. So we're going to go back to looking at Mitch's My Central, because there's nothing more fun than that. Yes?
I was gonna say, it's not, it wasn't involved, like, I guess on campus, but downtown Warrensburg, they have, fest the last week of September.
Yeah, Bergfest is coming up.
Yes, it is.
Coming up here in a little bit, and that's actually a really great point that we're not going to touch on. So while the projector is getting his life together, I'm going to mention that there are absolutely ways to get involved that have nothing to do with being here and going to UCM things, right? There are opportunities to get to know Warrensburg. You're going to live here for the next 4, maybe 5, hopefully not 6 years. Unless you're from here and you love it and you want to stay forever, which God bless you. You know, this is where you're going to be spending a significant amount of the next few years of your lives. You get to familiarize yourself with the community. You get to go to those events. We have an animal shelter in Warrensburg. You get to go volunteer and walk some dogs. You get to go hang out with the elderly folks at the retirement community and listen to their crazy stories, right? Like, this is a space where you get to involve yourself, and all of those are ways that you're increasing that involvement factor, that you're increasing the quality and depth of your college experience and benefiting yourself along the way. I'll get to that. So what we're gonna look at now is how to find student organizations. Like I said, we have more than 200 student orgs, and they all do different things. So My Central has a fancy little gadget that helps us find organizations specific to certain categories or interests that we may have. So if you go to your homepage of My Central, you look at your bill and you don't want to look at it anymore, you come to Student Services and you just hover over it. This drop-down menu has activity groups and health services. You're going to click on activity groups. And then you're going to come down here to join sites. You can see that Mitch's sites are the Spotlight, which is the programming board, and UCM College Republicans. He's a member of those two organizations. If you want to find an organization to be involved in, what you can do is just open up some of these tabs and look at, can I zoom in here? Yes! I love technology. So we have an American Chemical Society. We have an American Design Drafting Association. We have an American Society for Safety Engineers. All of these are academically oriented student organizations. So they are not programs run by the academic department, but they're activity groups that sort of walk alongside that academic department and support students who are in them and create social engagement opportunities for the students who are studying those subjects. We had a couple of nursing folks, so we've got a health professional association. That is a group of students completely made up of folks who want to be medically affiliated when they have vacant jobs. Like that's all that is. So you can go make some connections with people who are trying to do the same things that you're trying to do. We wanted to look at non-academic opportunities. The governance organizations that Mitch and I talked about. Oh, we forgot homecoming. That's a thing. Homecoming's coming up. You should get involved in that. The governance organizations are right here as well. Let's go with special interests because those are the fun ones. Not that they're all not fun. They're all very fun. Alternative Politics Society. Do you know anything about that? American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Aviation Student Government. So this is a student government completely made up of our aviation students. They govern themselves with their planes.
Yep.
We've got a gaming coalition. We've got a horticulture club. It's on Us as a sexual assault awareness club. SAGE is a group about gender identity and expression. SMILE. Oh, I used to know what that acronym stood for, but I don't anymore. The Wildlife Society. Thrive is. Does anybody know what Thrive is? They hang out down at the end of this hall sometimes. Thrive is a great organization that provides educational access opportunities to students with cognitive developmental illnesses. The Thrive ship essentially lives in North Ellis? Maybe?
Yes.
Yes. And those students come here and they have a college experience like they deserve to have, and they get a degree from it. And Thrive is the organization that allows that to happen. The Woodwood Ensemble, the Winter Guard, the Student Veterans Association. Underdogs is a mentorship program for students of color. Like there are just so many different opportunities for involvement. Really, legitimately, whatever you're interested in. Either we already have an organization for it, or
We can start it.
you can come over here and request a new student org. If you plus 8 friends, 7 friends, if you plus 7 friends
And an advisor.
get together, find a staff member on campus or a faculty member on campus who will be your advisor, submit that form, you can start the UCM Knitting Club. I know that we don't have a knitting club, but you can start that. That's a thing that you can do. And any student is able to do that. Because we want you to have the opportunities for involvement that you want to have and that you actively want to engage with. So if you're looking through these things and you don't find something that's of interest to you, you can start your own thing. Let's say I really wanted to get involved with making music. Alright, so let's say I really wanted to get some community outreach but also be involved on campus, and I wanted to be part of Mo Volunteers, which is an organization strictly devoted to volunteering in the Warrensburg community. If I click on that, oh, it didn't do what I wanted it to do. That's sad for me. So I know I'm trying to get involved in Mo Volunteers. It was under community service. I can click that category, I can choose that group, and I get the information for both the president and the advisor. So I can send Crystal and Terry an email and say, hey, I'm interested in getting involved in Mo Volunteers. Can you tell me when you meet so I can go to the next meeting? It's that easy. Finding an organization to be a part of is that easy. It's really great if you've got friends connecting you to organizations or if you answer emails and show up at meetings, but not everybody does that. And so this is a much more comfortable way to be sitting in your bed while Netflix is playing on a different tab and find opportunities to get involved.
I wish I could afford Netflix. Can't
I'm
afford
sorry.
Netflix.
YouTube.
Tragic.
YouTube's free. I love
No.
YouTube.
They charge you for movies now.
They do.
On YouTube?
Yes, they charge you for movies.
What kind of world are we
They
living
got their
in?
own marketing
Oh
on
my
movies
goodness,
now.
that's bananas.
It's
Alright.
tragedy.
Any questions about finding student orgs or joining them?
We can go to the unions.
You can go to the
How much is it, like $2 to go to the movie?
With your student ID is free. The movie
There you
theater
go.
in the Union, that's free with your student ID.
It's just whatever's playing.
Are you?
How about your mural sports?
Intramural sports, yes. Mitch is going to talk about the experience transcript here for a second, and then we're going to talk about services that the Office of Student Activities provides. And there it is. It's right there. It's right there. I know.
I told you, MI Central and I don't get along.
All right. So you can just talk it off.
Okay. So she was showing you where you could go find all those different organizations when you request to join them. The secretary or the president of the group usually is the ones who take care of this, but they will add you into the group on My Central, and it will show up like you saw the spotlight on mine and you saw UCM College Republicans on mine. So it will show up like that on yours, and then it goes into something called your experience transcript. When you graduate from the university, you get 2 transcripts. One's your academic official transcript with your degree, and one is called your experience transcript that you can use for resume building and stuff like that. What this does is it shows you all the different workshops and seminars you have attended, all the different organizations you have been a part, all the different positions you have held, even though mine is not up to date. This is way wrong. But it just shows you, like you can see that I was an impact facilitator, I did Roaring Red Booster, I did impact again that year. I've done all these different trainings and different kind of awards. It shows the awards you get through the university. So you get this when you graduate from the university, and it's official. You can show it to employers, you can show it to, you know, whatever you need it
Grad
for.
school application.
Grad school applications, that's what it's most important for. And then it also just helps you keep track so you're not thinking, what did I do my freshman year when I was in the spotlight? Like, you get to have it all written down for you, and it's really awesome. So that's what the My Experience transcript is.
And any involvement opportunity that you engage in counts for this.
Yeah, I didn't even know Impact was on there.
Yeah, look at that. Just learning new things.
I am.
That's the best. And so, the more involved you are, and we're going to talk about balance here in a hot second, but the more involved you are, the more full that this document is going to look, and the more impressive you are going to look on paper. And everybody loves looking impressive on paper. All right. Any questions about the experience transcript?
This is on your My Central.
Yes, it is. You can turn that off and go ahead and log off. Really quick, I'm going to talk about some of the opportunities that the Office of Student Activities offers to students. Again, all of this is either free or marginally cost. Oh, words are hard. Costly, marginally costly. We'll take it. The Office of Student Activities has 2 sort of zones. One is in the Union, that's where I work, that's where the Spotlight organization functions out of. That's where all of the registered student organizations on campus also sort of call home base. The office has our director, Beth Rutt, and then 2 assistant directors, Christy Brinkley. Yes, Christy Brinkley oversees all volunteer services, including alternative spring break trips. It's called Breakers. You go somewhere for spring break and you work with Habitat for Humanity and you build somebody a house while you're there.
Trips and tours.
Yep, trips and tours also function out of Christie's zone. So there's, I know that there's a.
They go to a winery, and I think it's like $12 for a day at a winery.
25,
Like
and they go to 3
wineries, 25.
But you gotta be 21 to go on that trip, and actually it's full.
They
So
do
we're
Christmas.
And they also take you to like the Mavericks hockey's game.
their Christmas tour?
Yeah, the
Christmas
Christmas tour
Casey Christmas.
in the plaza.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take you to all these cool places, and most of the time it's free or a deposit, and you get it back at the end of the trip.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a winery tour.
Also under Christie is MOVO and the President's Award for Community Service. That's President Obama, not President Ambrose. So if service is your thing, that's awesome, and you can come and learn more about how to do that here. The other assistant director in student activities is Emily Berkseeker. She oversees me, and my area is diversity education programming. She oversees Mitch She oversees all of the operations for all of the registered student organizations, and she also oversees leadership programs. We have something called LEAD, all of the events that say LEAD on that calendar before it describes the event title. All of those run out of our office as well, and there's a really great exploring leadership class opportunity. You get credit for it. It is either Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Same class, runs twice in the week to make sure that folks can go to it. And that's just an opportunity to explore yourself as a leader. The other area of student activities is actually the Student Wellness and Recreation Center. So that is also under the umbrella of student involvement here at UCN, and we want folks to take advantage of that. There are a lot of fitness classes. I think the free period has now ended, so you need to buy like a $25 sports pass. But that sports pass gets you into as many fitness classes for the rest of the semester or year? Semester,
Yes.
as you want to go to. So if you want to do yoga in the morning, spin in the afternoon, and yoga, you can do that. You can do that. We also have the rock wall and all sorts of different fitness opportunities. We have personal trainers available if you want to get swole. Is that a thing that people say still? No? No?
It is, but
I know what you're saying, but
most
Not
people
hip
aren't
with the
trying to get
lingo.
swole. They're trying to lose weight. That's what most people.
Gotcha. Sedentary. So you can get you can take advantage of those really great opportunities. You can also get involved in our intramural sports opportunities, all of which also run out of the Student Wellness and Recreation Center. I can get you contact information for the Assistant Director, Kevin Sneed, before I leave so that you know who to contact. If you want, you can play on a team. I know that we have a free agent system, so if you don't have a group of friends ready to form a team, you can be put on a list and another team who needs a body will call you. And that's a great way to make some friends. You can also apply to be a referee, which, for the record, student employment also counts as involvement. Mitch's role as the Spotlight president is a job. He gets paid for that.
You get paid?
Yes.
That's nice.
It is nice. And it's still on his experience transcript. It still counts as involvement. He's still getting all of those great benefits of being involved. He also happens to be getting a paycheck, and that's pretty awesome,
That's
right?
more than awesome.
This is the most attentive that one has been this entire time. I'm just kidding.
Food. Food.
The bottom line is that the Office of Student Activities and the Student Wellness and Recreation Center have so many opportunities for you to get engaged in the UCM campus experience and your undergraduate experience. And we want you to take advantage of those things. So much so that we brought you a free thing.
Oh, I'm gonna touch on one last thing.
Is it candy?
Oh, I forgot.
I'm sorry.
All right, that was the teaser for the
That
free
was the
thing.
teaser. Okay, so I told you guys before, your mandatory fees go to the rec center and the office and the union that I've been telling you about. Yeah, a small portion also goes to this really cool thing called SFC. SFC is Student Funding Committee, and they delegate money to different organizations who ask for it. So if you guys, for example, College Republicans, they go on a trip to DC every year, and we do apply to SFC funding, and they give an equal amount to every organization, but you can apply for it for like stuff like flights, or you can apply for it like if you want to bring a speaker to campus, you can apply for SFC funding. But if your organization doesn't have money, you can get money through the university, and SFC is not the only way to get it. Your advisor can help you find more ways to get money for your organization, but that's a really cool thing. And also, when you create an organization, you get this really cool thing called a operating budget. It's really small, but it's really helpful, and it's really cool. So in the Union 217 office, the Office of Student Activities, they have something called the resource room. They have a die cut machine. You can go on a computer and find like letters and logos, and you can put a piece of paper on it, and it'll cut it out, and it's really cool. They have big pieces of paper, like rolls of paper you can make posters with. You can rent signs, those signs that sit on the sidewalk outside, you can rent those through that office and put your sign for your organization in it. The bulletin boards that you see in the residence halls and the academic buildings, you can hang posters on that, but what you do is you go through the Office and Student Activities, they approve it, and they hang them up for you, and they take them down for you when it's time for them to come down. So that's also a really cool part. So if you want to start an organization, there's ways for you guys to get money. There's ways for you guys to get stuff to make posters for free. There's ways for you guys to get started and get going.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
So, back to the free thing. We want you to come to the Office of Student Activities. We want you to explore opportunities to get involved. Mitch said it earlier, but I'm going to reiterate it. 217 is the room down the short hallway between US Bank and the Pack and Ship in the Union. So if you come in the main front doors by the fountain and you hit the bowling alley, you've gone too far. We're back a little bit. 217 is a phenomenal place to explore some of these opportunities.
Is
We
it
want
on
you
the
to go.
right?
What?
Like, you're going towards the bowling alley, but then there's this hallway going downhill.
To the left. Downhill.
Left.
No, that goes outside.
In that, yeah, but there's this corner area where.
Yeah, that's
there's
the
a whole
alumni
bunch of-
center. That's not.
It's
Yeah.
not,
We're between Packaging and.
We're a little bit past that on the left.
Yep. And we want you to come to Union 217 so badly that if you bring this coupon back,
Is it food?
you get a free T-shirt. And there is actually often food in the office that
Yeah.
anybody can just eat.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say no to that.
And the office is really cool. It has like, so there's little offices on the side, but it's this huge room with tables in a big square and anyone can come sit there, work on stuff. There's always food in the office.
There's pretty much always
Somehow
food.
always food.
There are actually
Somehow.
there are public computers that anybody can use. It's a great space to do homework. There's almost always somebody hanging out,
Yeah.
eager to talk and make a connection. So please come, hang out with us, get your free T-shirt, and if you haven't done so already, please find an opportunity to get involved in your time here. Yes.
Where was the Spotlight VIP meeting at?
That Union 217.
Oh, okay.
So if you bring this, not tomorrow, but next Thursday, we can get you a free T-shirt while you're at a Spotlight VIP meeting. Any other questions? You've been a phenomenal audience. Thanks for putting up with our goofiness. We appreciate it. All right. For anybody who entered late, there's a sign-in sheet over in the Trio computer lab that you're gonna need to fill out to make sure that everybody knows you were here. Other than that,
You guys still got 13 minutes.
enjoy your 13 minutes.
You're free.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Can you log out? Wait. I would not. Very, very sad. Hi, Chris. What did you just say to Chris?
He said, "Hey, one of these."
Oh,
I have about 3 of them in my room.
I think she's here to grab it.
Make sure he gets the last selfie in there.
That got weird.
Probably gonna edit that out.